Today we're crocheting these basic hairbands. And it's a very small project, so it's great for beginners or to make for a last-minute gift. For the free written pattern, you can find it in the description below or at vivcrochets.com. And if you do enjoy this tutorial, please leave a like or comment to let me know. Thanks so much, and let's get into the materials. For this project, I used about 15 grams of medium weight yarn, and this is 24/7 cotton in the color Bay Leaf, but you can use any yarn that you want. And I'll also be using a 4mm hook and some scissors. First, we're going to make a slip knot, and to make a slip knot, place the yarn over your hand with the tail end at the bottom. Then grab the yarn with your thumb, and we're going to leave just a little tail under our thumb. Then grab the top, and we're going to wrap it around 2 fingers to form an X. And then you can hold it with your pinky, and then with your hook, go under one side of this X, and then over, and grab the other side with your hook, and pull it through. Then you can remove your fingers, and tighten the knot. Now we're going to start chaining, and to chain, yarn over, and pull through the loop on your hook. Again, yarn over, and pull through the loop on your hook. So there are our first 2 chains, and we're going to continue chaining until we reach 45 chains. And this is going to be the length of one strap. So that's going to be the length from your ear to the back of your neck, plus the length you'll need to tie a knot. And for me, I'm doing 45 chains, and these chains are about 24 centimeters long. So again, if you do want a shorter strap, you can do fewer chains, or you can do more chains if you want a longer strap. And once you do the length of your strap, we're going to tighten our very last chain. So here is our very last chain, and we're going to tighten it to make it smaller. And this will help the first row of our hairband from making this chain really big. So first we're going to put our thumb pointing right at that last chain that we made. So keep your thumb here and make sure you don't lose it when we tighten it. And to tighten it, we're just going to pull on our working yarn with our index finger. So tighten your chain, and you can see it's gotten really small, but we still have our thumb there so we don't lose it. And then we're going to chain 2 more times. So keep your thumb there and chain 1 and 2. Then we're going to start our first row, and we're going to do a double crochet into that chain we have our thumb on. So to do double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into that chain, that really small chain right there. So just under this loop here at the top. So try to get into that chain, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through. And you should have a total of 3 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. So there's our first double crochet. And now in this same chain, so back into that little space right there, we're going to do another double crochet. So again, yarn over, insert your hook back into that chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we have 2 double crochets into that chain. And we're going to do 1 more for a total of 3. So go back into that chain and do a 3rd double crochet. So now we have 3 double crochets all into that one chain. And you can see there is a hole there from our 3 double crochets, but it's a lot smaller than it would have been if we didn't tighten it. So once we've done the 3 double crochets, we finished our first row and we can start the second row. And we can sort of rotate our hairband like this. And you can see the tail coming down the bottom, that's a strap, and then a little triangle. And this triangle is our first row. We're going to start the next row by chaining 2. So 1 and 2, and then we're going to turn. So we're going to flip the triangle around. And now we're going to work back across those 3 double crochets that we just did. And from now on, we're going to be working under these V's at the top. You can see at the top of each stitch, there are these 3 V's. And for our second row, we're going to do 2 double crochets into the first stitch. So the first stitch is going to be this one all the way on the right. You can see this V right here. So we're not counting this chain 2. These 2 V's are our first 2 chains. And then this next one is that first stitch. So we're going to do a double crochet into that first stitch. So yarn over and go in from the side and under that V. And do a double crochet. And there's our first double crochet into our first stitch. And we're going to do a second one into that same stitch. So again, yarn over and go back under that V. And do a double crochet. Then we're going to move on to the next stitch, which is this next V, and we're going to do just 1 double crochet into this next stitch. So we'll yarn over, go in from the side and under that V, and do a double crochet. Now we're on to our final stitch, this one here, and we're going to do 2 double crochets into this last stitch. So yarn over, go under that final V, and do our first double crochet, and then do a second double crochet into the same stitch. So now you can see we still have this triangle, but it's just a little bit bigger. So we're increasing the width of the hairband. So if you like how wide it is right now, you can skip to row 4, but I am going to add another row to make this even wider. So for row 3, we're going to repeat the last row. So we're going to chain 2 and then turn. And we're going to do 2 double crochets into the first stitch. So again, yarn over, go into that first stitch, and do a double crochet. And then we'll do our second double crochet into that same stitch. And then we're going to move on to the next stitch, and we're going to do just 1 double crochet. And in the next, we'll do just 1 double crochet. And in the next stitch, we'll do 1 double crochet. And now we're at the very last stitch of the row, and we're going to do 2 double crochets into this last stitch. So there is row 3, and it's a slightly bigger triangle, so our width of our hairband is going to be this wide. And if you do want an even wider hairband, you can add a 4th row and do the same thing where you chain 2, turn, and do 2 double crochets in the first stitch, double crochet once into each stitch in the middle, and then double crochet 2 times into the final stitch. And that's how you continue making the hairband wider. But we are going to stop at this width. So for round 4, this is the round we're going to be repeating to get the size of the hairband. So row 4, we're going to chain 2 and turn. And in this row, we're just going to do 1 double crochet into every single stitch. So first, we'll do 1 double crochet into the first stitch. And we'll move on to the next stitch and only do 1 double crochet. And we're going to continue doing 1 double crochet into each stitch. So here is row 4, and you can see it's starting to become straighter. And we're going to repeat that row. So let's do that one more time. So we'll chain 2 and turn and do 1 double crochet into every stitch. And here is how row 5 looks. You can see it's not getting any wider, it's just going straight. And we're going to continue repeating these rows until we get the length of the hairband that we want. So here I've done a total of 26 rows. So I did 3 to form that triangle, and then I did 23 of just straight rows, 1 double crochet into each stitch. And this triangle part on the very first end that we made, that's going to go right behind your ear, like that. And then you're going to continue adding rows until you get just above your next ear. So you don't want to go all the way down because we are going to add that other triangle to the final end. And don't forget that it does stretch a little bit too, so don't make it too long, or it might be a little too long once it stretches out. So once you've done however many rows you need to get the size you want, we're going to do that other triangle on the other end of the hairband. So for me, this is going to be row 27, and to start this row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. And we're going to skip the very first stitch. So instead of working into this stitch right here, we're going to skip it and we're going to move on to this stitch. And we're going to do a double crochet into that stitch. So again, skip this one, work directly into this one. And then we're going to continue doing 1 double crochet into each stitch until we have 2 left on the end. So we're going to do 1 double crochet into the next stitch, 1 into the next, and 1 into the next. So after doing those 4 double crochets, there should be 2 stitches left on the end. And in these 2 stitches, we're going to do a double crochet 2 together. So to do that, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And then we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the last stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and you should have 3 loops left on your hook, and we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So that's a double crochet 2 together, and that's what helps form that slant at the end of the row. Now for row 28, we're going to do something very similar. We're going to chain 2 and turn. And then we're going to skip the first stitch of the row, which is this one right here, and we're going to do a double crochet into the next stitch after that. And then we're going to do 1 more double crochet into the next stitch, and we should have 2 stitches left. And we're going to do another double crochet 2 together. So again, to do a double crochet 2 together, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, insert your hook into the last stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And there is row 28. Next is row 29, and we're going to chain 2, turn, and skip the first stitch. And in the last 2 stitches, we're going to do a double crochet 2 together. So we're going to skip this stitch, and in this stitch, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, insert your hook into the final stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So there's the triangle for the other end of our hairband, and now we can do the second strap, and we're going to just chain the same number of chains that we did in the very beginning. So again, I did 45 chains here, but if you did do a different number, make sure you do that same number. So from here, we're just going to start chaining 45 chains. And before you fasten off, you can test this on yourself and make sure that it fits. If it does, we can continue on, and if it doesn't, then you might need to go back and adjust the number of rows that you did. But once you're happy with it, we can fasten off. And to fasten off, we're just going to cut our yarn really short. And then we're going to pull through with our hook and tighten this knot. And then we're going to take our 2 ends and we're going to trim them to about 1 inch. Now our hairband is complete, and to wear your hairband, just put it over your head like this, bring the straps over to the front and then under your hair. And we're going to tie a knot and then a bow. So I've tied a knot, and then I'm just gonna get my hair out of the way and then tie a bow. And your hair does get caught, but if you don't want it to, then you can tie it up while you're tying that bow. So once you have it tied, I'm just going to tuck the hairband behind my ears, and it'll look like this. And if you want, you can take out your front pieces like this. And that's all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Also, quick shout out to channel members Katya, Sharon, Brissons, Jamon, Amarachi, Dylan, Mai, Kayla, Taylor, Casey, Allison, Eilish, Nadine, Joy, and Stacy. You can become a member of this channel and have these little yarn ball badges next to your name whenever you comment, and other perks such as member shoutouts, early access to new videos, discount codes from my Etsy, help with any of my patterns, and connecting on social media. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.